Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Spot, and please come with me today for a first glance at Star Ruler 2. Yeah, Star Ruler 2 is the sequel to Star Ruler 1, which I know absolutely nothing about. This is important. This is important because, one, I cannot tell you anything about the differences between the two, and two, I have no preconceived biases, which is good, other than the fact that I'm a sci-fi nerd. Star Ruler 2 is a 4X grand strategy space game. I should point out, real-time space game. So think more Europa Universalis 4 type thing than Civ. But Civ, as far as mechanics, probably closer. Not comparing this to Civ, just saying. It is by Blind Mind Studios, which is three guys which are stretched across the ether, as someone pointed out. They're in different locations. They're an indie studio, obviously. This has been in development since 2011, and it is on a custom engine called Starflare, which actually does quite well. This is a very small galaxy. Yes, very good, very good. You'll notice that while I'm doing this video, other things will probably be happening. We might get sounds, etc. That's because, again, real time. And there's actually, unlike EU4, there's no way to easily pause it. Like, I think the only way to pause it is to, like, just come into the menu. Yeah. So, it does change the dynamic a little bit, I will point out. Alright, let's start with the options menu and stuff, because there's some really interesting stuff in here, and I think it says a lot about a game, depending on what the options are. Alright, let's go in the options here real quick. Graphics, primarily pretty much what you would expect, not a whole lot, but there's not a lot going on the graphics side anyway. You can turn Show Galaxy Glass off, which you'll notice is updating in the engine in real time behind us, which is nice. You can set your resolution. You can choose which monitor you want to go full screen on, which is really interesting. We're not recording this on full screen right now. You have 4 different texture qualities, the bottom one being sad, which I think is a great name. Anti-aliasing, VSync, all that stuff, great. Game, you have Show Galaxy in overlay background. There's some interesting stuff going on there. Icon notifications, etc. You can turn those off. You can change your autosave interval, etc. Camera, some very good stuff. Actually, when I first got into the game, these horizontal and vertical pans were driving me crazy, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And then I came in, and there were options for them, which is amazing. Audio, there's not a lot of options in audio, what you would expect, but there's not a lot of different things on sound channels. You can change the audio device you're using, which is really awesome. I don't know why it's listing 2 there, but that's probably more of a Windows thing, what it's reporting, as opposed to the game. Alright, and then key bindings, everything you could possibly imagine, which is kind of what you want, and I think that's awesome. Okay, great, let's go back here. Alright, mods. There's full mod support. A lot of times when you hear about that a game has mod support, that doesn't actually tell you much, right? It's like, oh, someone got a car, and you're like, what kind of car? Is it a small car? Is it a big car? Can it go fast? Can it go slow? What's the gas mileage? Is it electric? Who knows? Blah, blah, blah. So mods can range from, oh, you can change the skin on a few images, to full-out hardcore mods, where you can do, like, total conversions easily. It seems like they're going for closer to the hardcore side of mods, which I really like, because I think mods can definitely impact the longevity of a game. Look at Half-Life and Skyrim, etc. One of the coolest things that I've seen in a game in a long time is, and I think it's an amazing idea for an indie developer that has a game which would be considered a little bit more niche, right? It's not Call of Duty, is they actually put an IRC client in the game client, which is amazing. So I can open this IRC client, and it will pop in here, and there are people in here. I found out that the developers of Blind Mind are remote to each other, primarily, from going in here and asking. It's really awesome. And you can close this, and you're not out of the channel. You can go right up over here and click this. Boom. See? Welcome back, Spot. Thanks. Recording some footage. And I can open this up even within the game. Easy access to the community. I think that is absolutely amazing. One of the coolest things I've seen in the game in a very, very long time. Indie developers, keep on doing stuff like this, please. Alright, let's go back into the game here. Start looking at some stuff. Diplomacy may be the coolest thing in this entire game, just as far as concept-wise. Alright, this, influence peddling and events. These are cards. These are cards. And so, name system. Renames a system you control fully. Your fleets gain a 20% efficiency combat strength boost when fighting in a system you've named. Interesting. Protect system. Prevents owned planets in the target system from losing loyalty. Lasts 5 minutes by default. Each additional quality increases the duration by another 5 minutes. These cost influence, which you get through other ways, blah, 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 right? The interesting thing is that these lower in expense because you have to buy them with influence. They lower in expense the longer they're on this table. The catch is, this table is public. So if this guy, like if you want, let's say, Patriotic Surge, we'll be talking about this card a little bit in the future in a second, which inspire the population of a target planet to rise up their own militia, blah, 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 blah. If you want this, but it's a little bit too expensive, so you're going to wait, you're gambling that one of your rivals isn't going to grab it first, because they'll grab it right out from under you. It may be that they want to grab it just so you can't have it, or they want to grab it because they want it for some nefarious purpose. But the point is, it is a limited resource, and you have to keep an eye on it, and the stuff will go away, you will lose it. And that brings us to normal diplomacy. Let's go back over here. Do we have anything running? No, there's no diplomacy points running. Let's see if we can actually do one. These are the ones we have. Name a flagship, name a planet, United Research Center. Actually, this, if you vote started for this action, pass. Okay, by hosting this sentence with United Research Center on one of our worlds, we can reap the benefits of shared information. So we're going to activate this. Oh, we have to choose where we want to put this. Let's put this over here. Oh, we have to target a planet. There you go. Boom. Okay, so what this does is this has opened up, it's kind of a galactic congress type thing, right? So right now, this is being voted on. Okay, and there are 4 against, 1 for. So this guy is this guy being us, yeah, is voting for it. The Nili Empire is voting against it. They're not voting at all. So right now, this is counting down, and when it gets to here, it will fail. Okay, because we're -3, 4, -1, 3. Great. What we can do is we have these available diplomatic actions. These are cards, okay, and we can use these. So this is like a 3x card. So we can play this in support, right? By employing a team of skillful negotiators, we can convince a number of members of the Galactic Senate to support our cause on a particular vote. So boom, we're going to play that in support, and that's going to give us 2 more support. Now, we can play this again, or we can go over here, and you see how this has 3 stars? This actually has more. See, this only has a weight of 2. This has a weight of 10, but it's going to cost us more, and the card's more rare. So we're going to play this in support. Boom, we just added 10, so a +9. So now you'll notice that this is counting down, and this is actually getting lower, right? Now it's at 4 against. They're adding. Now it's at 8 against, 15 against. These guys do not want us to have this at all. Now, we can keep on playing these, but it costs us influence every time we play it. And we're now out of cards. Like, that's it. We've burned through all of our, what you would say, political capital. And we're going to lose this because they're burning political capital as well, right? They do not want us to have this. So we're totally going to lose that. So let's go back to the galaxy. Oh, well. All right. Research. Research in this game is very much research. As opposed to a tech web. Now, this web, if you look at it, may reminiscent of like Civilization Beyond Earth, but it is significantly different. First of all, these are bases where it says science, the root of all knowledge. Okay, you have like 3 of these. There's more than just one. Okay, now the interesting about this is that you can actually unlock things that you would expect. So let's say like armoring. Increases all armor health by 15%. Then you get bulkhead. If you place it on armor subsystems, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to this stuff in a minute. The other interesting thing is that certain parts of this increase things that are not just tech. So we've got commerce down here, okay? Permanently increases your budget income by 250k when unlocked. Now, income is based on a budget, so you only get a certain much. It kind of streams in, and then you get it, and then your budget flips over, and blah, 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 blah. You'll have to play with it. It's fun. Okay, this will increase that. Okay, so it's not a tech, it just increases that. But then there's other things like media utilization here, right? We will gain a Patriotic Surge card immediately upon unlocking this technology. So we don't get tech, we get a card. And that's because this is not a tech web, this is a research web. So it's all about knowledge. So in this case, when we unlock this knowledge for armoring, it actually helped our ability to produce better armor. Okay, in this case, in commerce, it actually increased our ability to generate more money. Okay, in this case, it generates this card, which is the culmination of this knowledge. Another interesting thing about the research thing, which I don't know if I've seen in very many other games, is that you can research this with research points, or you can study it, which pretty means you're buying it with actual money. Awesome. All right. Let's go to designs. Designs are, you get to design your ships. These are all pre-made ships. We'll just go, for instance, we'll look at this Dreadnought. Now, here's the interesting about this creator. It looks weird at first, and it's strange, like, what's going on here. But once you get it grasped in your head, you're like, oh, that's a really interesting idea. So this is a rocket engine. Now, the force of this rocket engine, its effectiveness, is impacted spatially by how many hexes it has, right? So, for instance, this is a missile launcher, and its power, its damage and everything is impacted by how many spaces it has, right? So for instance, if I wanted to go here, propulsion, rocket engine, right? I can add these on here. And these, now I'm getting above my interior space for this design, but just by adding those two things, I've actually increased the propulsion of this engine. It's very interesting. These missile launchers, right? Let me go to weapons, missile launcher, I could just add this on here. Just by adding these on like this, it's increasing these missile launchers. And these are armor plates, and so when this ship gets impacted by enemy fire in battle, it determines where it's being hit. And if it gets hit, like for instance right here, it's gonna probably take out this railgun battery because it's been hit on the inside. Visually, it's very easy to like glance at something once you know what the colors are and stuff and go, okay, this ship does this. It's weighted towards this specific function, which is amazing, and it's a great way to enforce a certain amount of balance. That brings us to community. Community is really awesome. They the whole IRC channel, they're obviously very focused on community, which is very great. I think that's what indie developers definitely need to do. Community, it should be your lifeblood. As someone that comes from like a social technology background, this means a lot to me, and I'm very impressed. So these are featured designs. You can look for all types of designs here, right? These are designs that people have. Oh look, Executive Class Super Star Destroyer. That's awesome. You can download this, okay, and then you can import it into your game, and you can run it. It's fine. I've done it before. I've actually done this one here. This is actually in this game. I can build this if I want. No problem. You can upload your own designs. Choose this one, blah, blah, blah. We'll do a Dreadnought. This actually comes with the game, so I wouldn't do this. And you can put a description, upload it, boom, you're done. Amazing. I love it. And again, remember, I can click this, and I'm still in the IRC channel, which is amazing. I love it. All right, so let me pop into the planet thing. This is very reminiscent of if you've played Galactic Civilizations or something. This is pretty much very close. So you have ships which are available based on what type of stuff you have on. This is your planet surface, orbitals, buildings, and you can build stuff in a certain area, and they give you certain things. Okay, great. So let's pop out of here. Let's get into some of the stuff that I have a little bit of an issue with. First of all, a normal 4X space grand strategy problem. You have this with endless space, pretty much everything, is that, as Douglas Adams said, space is big, very big, and it's open. So these are trade lines you're seeing. They're not connection lines. This may visually look like it would take an enemy a long time to get back here, but it won't. They can just go right over there. There's no actual geographic impedance like you would have on a planet side, a 4X that takes place on a planet. And I think that that's a big downside for Space 4X stuff, and takes out a lot of the strategy. This is not a problem with Star Ruler 2. This is a problem with 4X space games. The other thing is, okay, so every planet has an output, right? And so this one has water. This one, if you look, has a wheat thing, so outputs food, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You notice that has a Roman numeral 2. And if we look around here, that has a Roman numeral 1. Okay, these are outputting like first and second tier, which are higher than 0, first and second tier resources. Now, for this to actually have a first access to its first tier resource, it has to be a level 1 planet. See how it says level 1? And you'll notice that it required food and water to be a level 1 planet, which it does not have itself. Okay, so you'll notice if we hover over this, it says importing from Jolamos 4, wherever that is. Over here? No, over here. Here, Jolamos 4. So this planet here is sending food to Jolamos 1. And this one is importing from Yonpo 1, which is actually up here. So both of these planets are sending their output to this planet to get it to level 1. And that's simply so it can output its level 1 item, which is titanium, which it is sending to Coppola 1, which happens to be our capital. Okay, right? Now, the reason, you'll notice when I hover over this, all of this stuff is coming into the capital. Pretty much everything's coming into the capital, and that's because this capital's level 4. And so you have to, like, stack. So, like, to get a level 2 planet to level 2, it requires level 1 resources as well. And so it's kind of this, if you know the Towers of Babylon game, which has, like, the three poles with the discs on it, and you have to move them back and forth to try to get a whole stack moved to another one, and you can't put a bigger one on top of a smaller one. It feels like that. It makes sense. I understand that from a resource management, actually it's a very, I would say, novel approach, and I like it from that point of view, but it feels a bit too puzzly, and for some reason when I go into a 4X game, I don't want to feel like I'm having to solve puzzles. Right now, as this is, my planets I have here are pretty locked up, right? Because I can't really get any planets to any other higher levels because all of the resources which would be required to do that are being used somewhere else, right? I'm not even using these level 2 planets because I can't even get them to level 2. Most of them I couldn't even give them to level 1 because I don't have the resources from other planets to export, because, you know, if a planet is exporting water, it can only export that to one planet. So you can see really quickly how it becomes this juggling thing, and it gets really complicated really fast, which some people may like. That's fine. It's not really my bag, but that's fine. The only other thing I'll have to say, and remember this game is in pre-release, it is not done. There's UI issues here. For instance, this, I know there's a lot of stuff in here. It's my capital system. Do I know what this is? No, I have to hover over it, and still I don't know where it is, and so I'm going to have to, like, go in down here. And if I'm looking for a ship, I have no idea where my ships are. I guess what I could probably do is, I think there's a way for me to go, like, here, and I can actually turn on my capital ships or something. All flagships, right? Which will show my flagships, and so I can actually find them, you know. This is a UI issue, which can be fixed. It can, but it does. Yes, it's not easy. I've been in that situation before. But that's really about it. Overall, it's not big issues. It doesn't impact. It doesn't impede you from enjoying the game. The whole resource juggling is a little bit frustrating at times, but not bad. It's very nice. I like the game a lot. I really like it. Just as full disclosure, I got this copy as a review copy. Not that this is a review, this is a first glance, but I would definitely pay for this game. Absolutely. And I plan on recommending it to friends. Not that I'm recommending it to you, I don't do that. But yes, I really like the game. I think it's definitely worth the $20. I think it's worth more than $20, to be perfectly honest. And also, that thing I'll throw in the end, this design sandbox is actually really, really cool. Yes, unsaved progress will be lost. That's fine. So this is the design sandbox. So the whole ship designer thing. So you can do some amazing things. Like you can come in here and you can throw in some like enemy dreadnoughts. And I know there's got to be a way to do this like without repicking them the whole time. But then you can go in here and you can be like, we're gonna throw a battleship and a few scouts. And wait, actually, these are enemies. I didn't really want to do that. We're gonna do what are these? Battleships. We'll do there you go. Boom. They're fighting already. Which you can say ceasefire right here, but that's no fun, is it? We'll put a defense platform in there, and you can just watch them go. Like, and again, this game is real time, right? I mean, this is a sandbox, but this will be happening in your normal game. I will leave you with this Star Ruler 2. It is on Steam right now for $20 US. Actually, it's $19.99. Definitely worth it. I was not expecting it to be this good, but it is good. I like it. So until next time, stay safe, have a fantastic time, and I will see you then.